Hello students. Yes, so in this video I'll be explaining on one of the most important investment avenues or the marketable security that which is available. All right. So here uh, we shall take up repo or reverse repo rate in this video. See, before understanding these two concepts, I would like to give an example. With that, I'll give a connection to repo and a reverse repo rate. See, we'll take a bank. Fine. See, as a commercial bank, it has to maintain certain NDTL. Now, what is NDTL? It is net demand and time liabilities. I'll tell you in detail what is it all about. See, commercial banks, they have in form of a savings. They collect the deposits in form of savings. It can be in fixed deposits, current assets, isn't it? So net demand is something when the investors, when the bank has deposited all these money, that is in different forms, FD, SB, current account, everything's fine. What does this NDTL talks about? See, under savings bank account, what is it? What is the privilege that the depositor gets? There is that whenever he wants the money, he can withdraw it under SB. But when it comes to fixed deposit, is it the same? Of course no. It is always dealt with the time liability. Only when the matured, when only when the particular FD matures, at that time the investor, the depositor, is going to get his amount back, attached with the interest rate with that, right? So now what is net demand? What are the things you can segregate under net demand? It can be your current assets, that is the savings SB, right? And time liabilities, it is a fixed deposit. This is just an example for NETL what I am giving, fine. So understand the concept where we can give the connection with the repo and a reverse a repo rate. See now, NDTL, where the net demand, where the bank, it has actually, where the bank would have deposited the fund in different forms. After that, now in our particular example, we shall take now collecting everything. Now the bank right now, it is having 100 crores, right? Fine. So what the bank is going to do now, bank now, it is going to keep, listen to me very carefully, now bank is going to keep 3% of its 100 crores with RBI. The bank, what it has to do now, it has to keep 3% of 100 crores with, that is the NDT, with the RBI. So 3% of 100 crores will give you 3 crores, so that it will be kept in form of cash and the cash equivalents with RBI. It doesn't carry any kind of interest, where there is a low cash reserve ratio. So what is this cash reserve ratio? What does it talk about? Cash reserve ratio is basically refers to the certain proportion of your NDTL, a certain proportion of your net demand and time liability of the commercial banks, which has to be reserved in form of a cash. That is basically the liquid assets under the supervision of whom? Of course the RBI, Reserve Bank of India. So now you have understood what is CRR is all about. Out of the 100 crores of funds, what in form of deposits, what the commercial banks have obtained, out of 100 crores, 3% of NDTL, that is called as cash reserve ratio. 3% of 100 crores will give you 3 crore rupees. So 3 crore rupees, it will be kept with RBI in form of cash and cash equivalent. Fine. So now out of 100 crores, 3%, 3 crores is gone. What's the remaining? It is 97 crores. Now it is with the bank. So now what happens? Out of that 97 crores, 18.5% should be with the bank in form of liquid assets. That is called as statutory liquidity ratio. So 18.5% is nothing but, out of 97 crores, 18.5 crores it should be there with the bank in form of liquid assets. That is called as statutory liquidity ratio. So CRR rate is 3%, where 3 crores with the RBI in form of the cash and cash equivalents. Then another 18.5% in form of SLR, that is statutory liquidity ratio with the bank in form of it can be the gold securities, that is the gold reserves, the government securities, right, where it all these are the interest income. Fine. So out of 97 now 18.5 crores, that is 18.5% is nothing but 18.5 crores. So this will be with the bank in form of liquid assets, which is called as SLR. So now out of 100 crores, 3 crores is with RBI, 18.5 crores it is with the bank in liquid form. So what is the left out the funds? That is 78.5% is left. So with this the bank can give it in form of loan, which is called as loanable funds. Right now, what is statutory liquidity ratio? See, SLR is the government term, right, for the reserve requirement that commercial banks, they have to definitely maintain in form of cash or the gold reserves or Reserve Bank of India, where it is approved the securities before providing credit to the customer. That's very very important. SR is something what the commercial banks is going to maintain in its particular bank. All right, so now what we shall now connect it with the point repo and reverse repo. See, it is mandatory that you will have to maintain 18.5% of SLR, statutory liquidity ratio, and you will have to keep 3% in form of CRR with RBI, right? Everything is fine. Now what does this repo and reverse repo talk about? See, in case if the commercial bank it fails to accumulate so much of deposits in form of SB or current or FD, what will happen actually? Of course, it has to maintain that particular criteria which is already set according to the sections given, right? So what does this repo talk about? See, if commercial banks if they fail to have so much of 18.5% of statutory liquidity ratio in order to maintain in form of liquid assets, if it doesn't have, it is going to seek the fund, it is going to ask from RBI. So in order to maintain the SLR of that particular bank, if it doesn't have, it is going to approach RBI. If RBI provides the funds on that, RBI is going to charge some interest, that is called as repo rate. Repo rate is also called as a purchase option. Fine. So what is the percentage that the RBI is going to charge on commercial banks? It is a 4% on whatever the amount this particular commercial bank has borrowed, if it fails to have that particular SLR or CRR given. On the other hand, what is a reverse repo? In case RBI doesn't have money, in the sense that is in order to cater its short term requirements, if it doesn't have, definitely it is going to borrow from the commercial banks. If the RBI is purchasing, or that is if it is acquiring the funds from the commercial banks, that becomes the reverse repo, where RBI is borrowing from the commercial banks. On top of that, what the commercial banks are charging interest, that is called as a reverse repo rate, and that rate percentage is 3.35 in case of a reverse. In case of a repo, it is 4%. All right, so this is something like with liquidity adjustment facility. Now if you ask, ma'am, how does this repo rate work? See, when you borrow money from the bank, the transaction attracts what? Of course, the interest on the principal amount, right? So this is referred to something called as cost of credit. Similarly, banks also borrow the money from RBI, right? During a cash crunch, if anything is there on which they can require pay the interest to the central bank. That's what I told you. This is called as the repo rate. Technically, repo, it talks about a repurchasing option or a repurchase agreement. It is an agreement in which the bank, it provides the eligible securities, such as you have treasury bills. What is treasury bill? You have learnt it. Who is going to issue? The government is going to issue, where they are of three types. One is 91-day bills, 184, 182, and 364. Basically 3, 6 and 9 months, isn't it? So you're going to take care of that, and availing the overnight loans and agreement to like repurchase them at a predetermined price will also be in place. So the bank gets the cash, and the central bank, it gets what? It gets the security. That's how the repo is going to work. If you ask me, what are the things, how it is going to work? See, hedging and leveraging can happen. Hedging is where it talks about how you can mitigate, how you can minimize your factor of risk. Leverage is something, how much out of your capital structure, what do you have, what is the level of debt what you have infused under your capital formation. So here, connecting with this RBI aims to hedge and leverage by buying these securities and bonds from the banks, and it also provides the cash to them in return, which acts as a collateral, deposited kind of fine. Then short term borrowing also. See, RBI lends money for a shorter period of time in order to maximize being the overnight post, which the banks buy back their securities deposited at a predetermined price. And there will be a collateral securities as well. See, RBI accepts the collateral in form of, say, bonds. It can be the gold as well. And the CRR, that is, banks borrow the money from RBI in order to maintain the liquidity, that is the statutory liquidity ratio, as a precautionary measure, and that is really very very important, right? So this is all about the term repo rate. And what does it do? The first thing is that the rise in inflation. See, during the high levels of inflation, like RBI, they make strong attempts to bring down the flow of money in the economy. You know that when there's like one way to do this is one of the methods, a repo rate. This makes borrowing costly affair for business and industries as well, which in turn it slows down the investment and money supply in the market. Definitely it will negatively impact on the growth of the company, which helps in controlling the inflation. And one more thing is increasing liquidity. See, when the RBI needs to get in the funds into the system, it will lower the repo rate. What will happen? Business and industries find it to be cheaper to borrow the money. See, whenever the money, if you want to borrow, if it is provided, if it is offered at a lower rate of interest, won't you get attracted? Definitely yes. That's how the things are going to work. And it also increases the overall supply of money in the economy as well, and this will definitely boost the growth rate of the economy as well. This is all about repo. The next one we have to understand is a reverse repo. As I said, again, this is one of the mechanism that which absorbs the liquidity in the market, and it restricts the borrowing power of the investors as well. See here, reverse repo rate is when the RBI, the Central Government Reserve Bank of India, it borrows the money from banks when there is kind of excess liquidity in the market as such. So the banks, they benefit out of it by receiving the interest for their holdings with the central bank. During high levels of inflation in the economy, the RBI increases the reverse repo. It encourages the banks to park more funds with the RBI to earn higher returns on excess funds, and banks are left with, of course, lesser funds to extend the loans and borrowings to the customers. So in order to sum up with, what is this a repo and reverse repo is all about? Repo is something, the rate at which RBI lends money to the commercial banks. A reverse is where a rate at which the RBI borrows the money from banks, and the repo rate, it is higher than obviously the reverse repo rate, and the reverse repo rate, it is lower than the repo rate. And repo rate, why it is used? It is used in order to control the inflationary and deflationary factor, that is inflation and the deficiency of the funds. A reverse repo, it is to manage the cash flows in the economy. At last, repo is something, it involves the sale of securities which can be repurchased in the future. Reverse is where it involves the transfer of money from one account to the another account. Again, I'm telling, this is one of the important concepts fine in the investment management. So this talks about the particular money market security, that is repo and reverse repo rate.